YouTube. I'm back to talk a little bit about my 101 Things in 1001 Days challenge. This is something that I do every 1001 days, so I thought I'd tell you about it. I don't think I've spoken about it on the channel before. And I just came to the end of one of the 1001 days, so tell you a little bit about how 2017 to 2019 went, and then a little bit about what I'm planning for 2019 to 2022. Yes, had to check that. And first, a little meta note: if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And you may have noticed a little bit of inconsistency, not too much, but I've been having trouble with, I normally use QuickTime to, if I have multiple clips that I want to pull together, which I have needed to do with this whole vegan rainbow food challenge that I've been posting, and QuickTime has just been moody with me, and so I've been having to use iMovie, which takes a lot longer and is a lot more annoying to edit. So I have like a couple of days of that challenge ready to post, or they're recorded, but they're in separate clips, and so I have to pull them together and post them. And so that's why, like, I think last week I only was able to post one thing. It's annoying, but whatever, I will live with it. So this challenge, I don't remember where I initially found it, but you list out 101 things that you want to do in 1001 days. I think it's actually called 101 goals, and that's what I used to call it, but now I just say things, mainly because they are more intentions than goals. If you're not familiar with the distinction between intentions and goals, I think it can be really useful to use the word intentions when you think about things you want to do, especially in the long term, so that you don't feel guilty when you don't achieve the thing. Because a goal is generally something where you either kind of succeed or fail. It's something that you really want to do and you're pushing yourself to do. And an intention is saying, like, this is what I want to do. I'd like to write it down. I'd like to acknowledge it so that I have something to work towards, so that I have a reference and a reminder that I had intended to do the thing. But it may be that my intentions change. It may be that I intend to do one thing and then a circumstance changes and something totally different and awesome happens instead. So I want to make space for that, so I stopped calling it 101 goals. But anyway, this is the fourth time I've done it, and 1001 days is about three and a half. No, wait, that's wrong. It's a little less than 3 years, but because we're starting this one at the end of 2019, it ends up being the beginning of 2022. I just use a date calculator. I Google a date calculator and I find the start and end date, and so I've been doing it since, I guess, 2011-ish. There was a break in there somewhere. And I found it to be really useful. I usually hit somewhere around plus or minus half of the goal, so it's not actually like, that I have ever gotten anywhere close to 101. But it's interesting to see. I write them all up in categories. The categories mostly, they just change by a little bit. They're kind of areas of life. And I cross them off as I meet them. Some of them are kind of a number, so I put in parentheses like 1 of 5 or whatever, so I can keep track. And then I italicize if there's something that I have intentionally, so this is the intentions part, decided not to do. So like I've stopped like doing anything in this realm, so it makes no sense. So looking at my 2017, it was actually January 1st through September 29th of this year. I completed 57 of 100, so pretty good. And some examples, so first I'll give some examples of the ones that are italicized because they became irrelevant. So, I'll tell you the areas of life first, actually. So I've got writing and creative, reading, activism, and community, social, professional, health and self-care, and general personal. And for the next cycle, I've pretty much kept these categories, except I've added one for tarot, astrology, and spiritual, since that's a big part of my life that's new since 3 years ago. I have changed the writing creative to just creative, and I added travel to social, so it's social and travel. Oh, and I added financial to professional, so it's professional and financial, but basically the same categories. So some examples that became irrelevant. Under reading, activism, and community, I had keep Tumblr within a month of current for 6 months and keep Tumblr likes clear for 6 months. I actually decided to delete my Tumblr accounts before the whole Tumblr hoopla happened, but I decided Tumblr wasn't an important channel for me. So sometimes it'll be something like that, where I just decide the whole category doesn't make sense. There aren't actually, now that I look, there are fewer than usual where I just took them out. I also mark ones that are impossible to complete. So, for example, I had one that was do daily movement, like at least a few poses, for the duration of the Trump administration. I had this idea when Trump was elected, or that I wanted to do something positive, and that was the plan, and it lasted about 5 days. So I italicized that because it wouldn't be possible to actually complete once I had missed a day. Another one was cook 20 homemade meals from scratch. Well, in this period, I decided that cooking from scratch, or cooking at all, is not a priority for me. That is something that I have enjoyed doing in the past, but in my current living situation, in my current work situation, I don't really enjoy it, and it's not that important. I can buy prepared food, and I can get healthy prepared food and be happy with it. So I didn't want to beat myself up about it, so I just sort of italicized. Whenever I italicize something, it means I don't have to worry about it anymore. I'm not trying to meet it. So we end on a positive note. I'll give some examples of goals that I didn't meet. I wanted to publish my first game. I didn't do that. I have a game that's play testable, but I haven't gotten further than that. There's some challenges with games, including like the business of Kickstarter, which I talked about in my last video about publishing a deck. But there are also challenges around like getting people to play test, because I have social anxiety and I don't always really want to do that. And game design has become less important to me, although I think it'll continue to be a hobby. Another one was to try to make at least a few comics or an equivalent creative project. I also talked in that video about art and some of my challenges with art, and so that just didn't happen. I wanted to sketchnote 3 events. I took a sketchnoting course, and I got 2 of 3, but I didn't technically complete it. One that is on my next list, so sometimes if I don't complete something, I do put it on the next list, is to complete a Thursday Times crossword. I can do Wednesday about 50% of the time, but I have not successfully completed a single Thursday crossword. I still want to get there. Some other examples include reading all of the bitch magazines that I own. I'm probably going to do that in December, but I haven't done it. One that I'm kind of sad that I didn't manage to do, although I probably will by the end of this year, was to donate $2,000 to POC-led organizations. I think it's important to acknowledge when you have a goal that's related to equity or anti-racism and you don't achieve it, because it is important to be accountable and to stay on track. So I didn't achieve this one, and I am bummed about it, and I do want to continue to contribute financially to POC-led organizations. I also had some about reading the books I own and reading the comics that I own, that again I'm going to try to do during my sabbatical. So that's like a lot of stuff in the kind of reading, activism and community categories. I actually did quite well in the social, surprisingly, the social and professional categories, although I did not manage to keep my inbox under 50 items for a month. That did not happen. I get about 50 items a day, so it's really hard to keep it that clear. The health and self-care category I didn't do as well in. So for example, I wanted to maintain a meditation practice for 6 months, and I didn't even start meditating. I wanted to exercise regularly. That didn't happen. I wanted to eat at least 2 servings of veggies a day for a month, and that sure didn't happen. It's surprising, like for a vegan, I don't eat that many vegetables. I also wanted to do some travel, like going to Turkey or going skiing, and I didn't manage to do those. But that's okay. Like I said, I met over 50 of my 101. So some examples. And if you're thinking of doing this, I really recommend that you do a mix of big and small goals, and goals that are things like do 20 of this, but also goals that are just like do this once. So some of the things that I did manage to do that I was pretty proud of, While I was blogging, I managed to maintain a consistent presence on all my active blogs for 6 months, and that's something that had been a struggle for a long time. And I'm also really glad that now that I've started doing YouTube, I managed to post 2 videos a week the vast majority of weeks, which is a big accomplishment for me because I was never very consistent with this kind of thing. I have managed to limit my speaking engagements to those where I am the right person, or can co-present. So this is all about equity and being a white person in the public speaking space, and I've actually pretty much stopped doing public speaking, which was a tough thing for the ego because like it's something I can do and like to do and sometimes want to do, but I decided that it just wasn't the right face to be up in front of people, and so I stopped doing that. One of the things I did that I just really needed to do was like letting go of the craft supplies that I wasn't using. So it can be something small like that, or hang a piece of inspirational art in my room. I actually have several. There's one behind me. It says "Queer the Binary," and I really like it. It's a painting and it's really cool. So in the reading, activism, and community category, some of the things I did include reading 100 books by authors of color, volunteering for something that doesn't benefit me personally, and attending a community event. But the vast majority in this category I did not do. Like I said, the social category did go better, so some of the things that I did were going on a trip with a friend, visiting 3 long-distance friends, making a major positive choice in a romantic relationship, hosting 3 social gatherings, making 1 tough apology. That's an interesting one to put on there. Having 1 successful birthday, and connecting with 1 lost friend. In the professional category, I got a promotion. One of them was having 2 direct reports. I actually have had up to 4 by now. Learning a professional skill, influencing a major decision at work, and saving up a specific amount of money for retirement. And then health and self-care. Again, this wasn't the best category, but one was get a pair of glasses that don't suck. These glasses do not suck. Getting a massage monthly for 6 months, taking daily vitamins for 3 months, and stopping eating dairy and maintaining for 3 months, which I actually became vegan and have been for more than a year. So that's pretty cool. And then in the general category, a lot of times these are like random things that I think of. So like get a good winter coat, sign a 2017 lease, go somewhere random abroad, back up my computer on time for 6 months. So those are some examples. This is getting kind of long, so I'll try to go faster. But I have also started into my next cycle. So starting on September 30th and ending on June 27th, 2022. So when you write the list, it's kind of funny to like try to think of yourself 1,001 days from now, and what are the kinds of things that you expect to do, or that you like want to aspire to. I try not to shoot too high so that it's not ridiculous, but include some moonshots and then some smaller things. And like I said, I added a tarot, astrology, and spiritual category, so maybe I'll read more of those since they might be of interest to folks who watch this channel. You can include things that you know you're going to do for some easy wins. So like I put attend Northwest Tarot Symposium because I'm doing it. I can't wait to see you all there. I put meet 3 tarot people in person because that's probably going to happen there. But I also have some things like complete 3 tarot courses, learn Lenormand, which also I'm just gonna like I've gotten to this point where I say it the way other people say it, but isn't it just Lenormand? Like, is it Lenormand or is it Lenormand? I think it's Lenormand. It's actually hard to say, Lenormand. Lenormand. Learn runes. I have runes and I don't know anything about them. I have some specific decks that I want to study. So that is the Dust to Onyx, Wild Messengers, and the Mary L. I have read 3 tarot books, read 3 magic books, and read 3 astrology books. Get into a practice of reading more regularly. Journal at least once a month for a year. Sell or give away 3 decks. Yeah, I'm up to 53 tarot plus 4 I want to give away. It's a problem. Doing a birth chart for 2 different babies of dear friends of mine. Prepare for 2020 astrology, write a tarot ebook or course. I'm not going to say more about that right now, but I have plans. Finish recording the tarot study series on this channel, design a deck, we talked about that in the last video, and finish the Avengers deck that I've been posting. So those are all the goals I have in that category. Some random examples pulled from other categories, like some fun things that I want to do: improve my piano skills, publish a fan video. I have this idea for doing like an epic 3 fan video cycle of Avengers, Tony Stark centric Avengers fan vids to Mountain Goats songs. It's a niche. If you like that niche, tell me, because I think I'm going to do it. Use all my stickers. I have like $300 worth of stickers that I purchased when I was going through a phase. So I need to actually do the bullet journal thing. Get into a regular Bujo practice. Sew a tarot bag. I really want to try to make my own. As wonderful as Peggy is, and like I can get Peggy bags, but I want to learn to sew. Some of them I repeated, like reading 100 books by authors of color. I want to do that again in the next cycle. And I put things that I didn't accomplish, like reading all the comics I own or reading all the books I own. I put in finishing the Marvel Unlimited reading plan. So I've made a reading plan for myself. It's really long. I have a subscription to Marvel Unlimited, which is the digital Marvel comics, and I really want to just like get through like 20 years of Marvel comics, but only specific episodes. I want to get caught up on web comics as well. I tried not to do much around like social media stats because I don't really care about that, and this channel's not monetized, so it's not like I'm like making money off of it or it's really a goal, but I'd like to reach 500 subscribers here. I think that would be cool. I want to start a YouTube hashtag. I have a couple in mind. Some others, throwing my 35th birthday party is going to be a big deal for me. I might vlog about that, although I'll have to get a lot of people's permission, so I'm not sure. I do really want to go to Turkey. I want to go to Europe at least once in this period. I want to go to one of those obstacle courses in the trees. I don't know if you've seen these, but they're like forest. There's like a company that does these in various woods all over the country, in Canada, I think US and Canada, maybe elsewhere, I don't really know, but basically you go up in the trees and they have like zip lines and obstacle course, and you harness onto things. That would be so up my alley, so I really want to do it. I have another retirement specific goal. I'm trying to stay within my slush budget for a year because I've gone way over it this year. I want to increase the size of my team again, and I want to be able to promote a direct report, because as a manager, that's something I haven't done yet, and I really want to have happen. Like, I think it's important when you're a manager. Part of supporting the growth of your employees is helping them to get promotions, so that would be awesome. I put fewer things on the health and self-care since I didn't do that great with it. But I have things like getting into the habit of mindful eating and sustaining for 6 months, which is a major goal that I've like never really been able to do. I want to like actually use all the random bath stuff I have. So like people make jokes about take a bubble bath, but like legit, that can be self-care for some people. And then some of the general things, I still want to try to go skiing. I want to learn Spanish to a conversational fluency, because for somebody who studied like 15 languages, the fact that I haven't learned Spanish just makes no sense. I would like to go on a personal retreat, probably in North Carolina, at somewhere where it's kind of quiet and I can focus on spiritual stuff. I want to do KonMari each year, so I have a KonMari goal for every year. I want to complete my depth year, and I want to get my mother a car, and we'll see if she'll let me. So yeah, those are just some of the items and a little bit about creating this kind of list. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of thing, and let me know in the comments below if there are, particular things that you'd like to hear as this goes on, or if you've done this challenge before. And I'll see you next time.